Welcome back to Australian Open 2020 Day 10. In this video I'm going to be previewing the two women's semi-finals going to take place tomorrow for me in the UK. Kicking things off with home favourite Ashley Barty up against the young American Sophia Kenin. I think for Barty, she came to the tournament as one of the pre-tournament favourites. I think you always make Serena and Osaka favourites on these hard courts with their recent form. But Barty certainly up there. She's obviously played outstanding tennis last year, winning the maiden Grand Slam. She entered the tournament as well number one, but she arrived in Melbourne with huge pressure on her. Obviously, she's a local Aussie. She's had great backing throughout, and I think she's really thrived on that. I was wondering whether it would add pressure that she didn't really want, or whether she would really thrive under the crowd and would improve her performance. And I think it's definitely done the latter. I think against Kvitova, the crowd really did support her and get behind her, particularly in that first set tie break, and that definitely got her over the line. After she took the lead, I think there was a real sense of belief going around the arena, and it just reverberated onto the court. You could see Barty was becoming more confident in his strokes, serving particularly well, and she really took control of that match early in that second set and closed it out very, very well. For Barty, I don't think she's been spectacular this tournament. She hasn't had to be, but I like this new patient, conservative Barty. I think being world number one, you have to be like that if you want to win Grand Slams, ripping winners and making too many unforced errors. She's likely to reach the last 16 quarter final, but to really win Grand Slams and beat these top players, you do have to minimise the errors and have a more measured game, have different game styles, different tactics, be able to switch up the pace, attack the net, and just be solid all round. I think Barty's becoming a better and better player with every tournament. As for her opponent, Sophia Kenin, what an 18 months she's had. She was 6-1 in quarterfinals and WTA tournaments on hard court. She's an outstanding hard court player. I think she's got one of the best attitudes on tour. I think she's outstanding. Fitness, she really progresses as the match goes on. She's a great problem solver. I was very impressed with the win over Coco Gauff. Obviously, Gauff went to that match as she was the underdog story, the real story of the tournament. She knocked out Venus, she knocked out Osaka, and then I think them two players really struggled. Today was playing a 15-year-old and beating Gauff when all the pressure was on them. As for Kenin, she took it like a duck to water. Really, she just took on Gauff with her own game and out-battled her, out-fought her, and outclassed her in the end. She dominated Gauff in the last two sets, and up against the crowd and up against a young superstar like Gauff. I think Kenin just handled the situation perfectly, just treated it as a normal match, played her tennis and got the win that she thoroughly deserved. And Kenin, she's a similar to Barty in the sense that she's had a good tournament. I wouldn't say she's been spectacular and played at the level that Halep or Muguruza have so far, but she's here in the semi-final draw, so she's done outstandingly well. This is a maiden Grand Slam semi-final. And I think she's the type of player that will thrive under this sort of pressure and really take this opportunity with both hands and perform at her best. I think often when young players get to this stage, that you think of Alexander Zverev's in the side of in the men's semi-finals, you do doubt whether they can produce the best tennis player under the most pressure. But I've got no doubt tonight that Kenin will produce the performance of her life. She just doesn't seem to be fazed by the fact that she's 21 or new situations she seems to thrive in. As the match goes on, she gets better. If she's behind in matches, she's got a great mental attitude where she can put that behind her and find a way to win. She's very good at that. So I'm expecting a fantastic tussle tonight between two fantastic tennis players. I do think Barty enters the match as a favourite. Obviously she's got that Grand Slam winning form. I would say she's got heavier ground strokes than Kenin, and I'm not sure. Kenin does have a very solid all-round game. She's good on defence. She's good at attacking the net. She's solid enough on both wings, but I just think Barty's defence, she's got a perfect balance. I think Barty, between attack and defence, she can do either, and I do think that gives her a slight edge in this one. I do think it'll go to 3 sets. As I say, Kenin's got a real fighter's ability. She never gives up any point. She never gives up a game or a set. And I do think she'll push Barty very, very close. But with the crowd on Barty's side, she's got that experience, and you can see how much she wants to win this Australian Open title. I think it's the best opportunity she'll probably ever get. You've got no Osaka left, no Williams, no Pliskova. She's obviously waited with a very, very tough final if she was to get there, with Halep and Muguruza playing the way they are. But I think if you offered Barty a semi-final against Sophia Kenin to get in the Australian Open final at the start of the week, should have certainly took that. But she won't be overlooking Kenin. As I say, Kenin's upset many of the top 10 over the last 18 months on these hard courts, and she'll go out there with plenty of confidence in her game and with belief that she can definitely win this one. I am going to tip Barty to win it in 3. I think it'll be a very, very close set. I think if Barty wins the opening set, then I do worry for Kenin. As I say, the crowd will get behind Barty. But Kenin does have a super attitude and have that ability to fight back from one set down. She's shown over the past year or two. So I just contradict myself then. But if Kenin gets a lead in the match, then she does serve very well as the match progresses, and she's very clever out. She's patient in the play. She's conservative. She forces errors out of opponents. So if she can get a lead, Kenin, and then keep the ball in court against Barty, and Barty has to chase the game, then maybe she might force Barty into enough errors to close it out. But it really was tough for me to pick a winner in this one, but I'm going to edge towards Barty in 3 sets. Next semi-final up, we have an outstanding match on paper, probably going to be match of the tournament, and it could well be a final in its own right. Simona Halep against Garbine Muguruza. Obviously Muguruza really struggled for a couple of years on and off court. She had problems with coaches, a few niggling injuries I believe. She struggled with form and fitness and confidence for a long time after winning them Grand Slams a few years ago. She looked as if she was going to dominate the sport. She's definitely looked good enough. She's good on all surfaces, but things didn't quite work out for her. She's still very young. She's still got plenty of time to get back to the very top and win slams, and perhaps even this week. There's no reason why she couldn't. She's been back to her very, very best this week for sure. She's had a tough draw. Obviously, she fell down the rankings. She's come in this tournament with an unfavourable draw, facing the likes of Svitolina and Kiki Bertens, Pavlyuchenkova, 3 very, very tough matches, but she's passed them with flying colours. I mean, Svitolina was one of the favourites entering this tournament. She started the tournament well herself, and Muguruza just blew her off the court. Just heavy ground strokes, heavy serve, striking the ball cleanly, backhand and forehand. And with Muguruza in that sort of form, I don't think as many people in the world hit a heavier ball than her when she's hitting the ball with real power and authority as she does. Similar to Kiki Bertens, I think Bertens performed well in that match. She's a very good defensive player, Bertens. The sore court suited her, but even that wasn't enough for her to be able to counter Muguruza. As I say, Muguruza, she turns up with her A game, and if I think the big thing with Muguruza is her confidence. If she turns up knowing she's playing her best tennis, confident that she can win the match, confident in hitting lines on both forehand and backhand, she just goes for her shots, clears her mind, and this goes back to basics almost. Go back to what you're good at, stick to plan A, and do what got you there in the first place, do what won you them Grand Slams, and that's what she's been doing this week. Don't overcomplicate things, stick to your best attributes, and hope for the best really. Hopefully you're good enough on the night, and you beat your opponent in the end. And then in the quarter final, she had a very tough one. It was almost a toss up between her and Pavlyuchenkova, who was going to outwin each other really. Pavlyuchenkova was almost hit the same amount of winners as Muguruza going into this quarter final match. But Muguruza's experience told, and I predicted before the match that a heavier serve and a heavier ground strokes would prove pivotal in that one, and it did. She won that one straight sets. So she's got a huge chance, but unfortunately for Muguruza, she's up against arguably the best women's player in the world right now. Simona Halep has just looked absolutely sensational, invincible, everything this week. What a player Halep has turned into these last couple of years after that. Finally getting that Grand Slam that she richly deserved. She's breezed through this week in straight sets, but she's never really looked like losing a set. She's never looked like losing a game really in the last couple of rounds. Specifically in the quarter final, I mean, in a controverted, had gone into that match for playing very, very good tennis, solid all round, and many people predicted her to give Halep a tough test in that one, but early stages of the match, Halep just strikes the ball so cleanly. She's on it from ball one. She's hunting the ball down, making you play actually 2 or 3 shots. She's counter punching if you attack the net. She's hitting winners and forehand and backhand herself. She's serving 70-80% of first serves, hitting 5 or 6 aces, which even for Halep is a remarkable stat. She's obviously a very small women's player. She has struggled with the serve in the past, but even this week, her serve has been outstanding. Very tough to return it deep, and she's gaining that initiative. And I think with Halep, she's on the service game. She's being very aggressive. She's attacking that short ball, pummeling in each corner of the court, bringing it into the net. And she's just toying with opponents on her serve, and then to counteract that on opponent's serve, she's returning deep, being patient, being composed, and just waiting for the error of her opponent. And I think every opponent this week struggled to do that switch up. Is it Halep going to attack or is she going to defend? She can do both equally as good. So whatever you throw at Halep, she's got the answer for it at the minute, and she just looks in absolutely unbelievable form. She must be so confident going to every single match. She as I say, she hasn't lost a set so far. She just looks invincible. Tonight will provide the biggest test of this tournament without a doubt. I mean, as I say, it probably deserves to be the final in itself. I think these two players have been outstanding players this week. From a form point of view, Muguruza has been hitting winners for fun, serving particularly well, definitely being the most attacking, aggressive, entertaining player to watch. And then Halep, who you've got the best defensive player in the world, the best counter puncher, hitting winners of her own, serving well, as I say. So it's an absolutely a brilliant matchup. It's going to be an incredible battle. I think this one nailed on 3 sets, I would say. In terms of picking a winner, I am going to tip Halep in this one. I think she's just the safer pick in terms of having that defence to fall back on. I think that Muguruza is obviously favourite to hit the most winners, probably more aces. She's very tall, Muguruza. She does strike the ball very, very hard, and she's got heavy ground strokes. But I just think Halep, that might play into Halep's hands if Muguruza is attacking the net and perhaps not positioning herself brilliantly in the court. If she doesn't quite hit the lines or hit the ball deep enough, Halep will take advantage of that, as she has done all week. It's almost a good style for Halep to play, somebody really attacking who she can forced to play the extra ball all the time, forced to make errors, unforced errors, and start doubting themselves. You know how good Halep is at the passing shots. I just think it's sort of a match made in heaven for Halep. But if Muguruza does strike the ball as well as she can, then even Halep may struggle to return them and get them deep. But on the basis that Halep is the best defensive player in the world and the courts are playing slow this week, I do think Halep is a very, very slight favourite, but it could go either way, and it's going to be such an incredible battle, I feel, between the two. So I'm going to wrap it up there. As I say, two outstanding semi-finals taking place tomorrow, so tune in if you can. Thanks for watching again. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow to review them 2 matches and also to preview the final on Saturday. Thanks again, and I'll see you tomorrow.